Able to see my screen, guys?
Yes, Shyam.
Okay. Okay. So in the last session, we are discussing about the Lambda. Lambda for used for processing the data based upon the event triggers. So whenever certain action is performed, you want to process our data. So there is a mechanism called, this is the only model we are going to discuss about the coding. Coding will be involved here. So you should know any one of the programming language like PHP, Python, Java. So what are the programming languages is there? So the Lambda will consider as a serverless architecture. We no need to have any server launching. No need to create server. No need to install any software. For example, I want to run the Python code and no need to install Python in the server. So we don't install server. We don't install Python. We don't install any kind of softwares. We don't require any server here. Just to provide the code for me, just upload the code. And what is your runtime code? Means runtime is nothing but which programming language you want to run the code. For example, I am writing the Python coding. So I want to choose runtime as a Python. So directly they will connect to the server from the backend, and wherever the Python is installed, so this logic one by one line of the code, so that will be executed and show the result for you. So the Lambda function will be communicated with multiple services. I want to communicate with multiple services like SNS, SQS, EC2, any service. If you want to communicate it, so this service should have a proper permissions. So that can be done via IAM. Already we know IAM process, like if you want to do the service to service communication, we are going to do it. Last example in the last, when we are discussing about the IAM part. So when it comes to the service to service, so we have seen about the example two, EC2 is my source service and destination service is S3. Here in the Lambda function, what are the logic you are going to implement it? To which all services you want to communicate it? All the services, if you want to get a set of permissions for executing a task, if you want to create one S3 bucket, I want to create one notification service, I want to create one queue, I want to put some dummy messages into the queue. Okay, what are the data we are getting from the client? I want to put in the queue messages. Okay, certain action is performed, then I want to trigger the Lambda function. So in that cases, what we need to do? So we will create a one function here. Then we need to attach the IAM role for it. And at what are the logic they are going to ask it? Same repetitive work we are going to do it. So no need to run the script every time. So we can write a Lambda function. You can run the Lambda function. So it automatically do the work and communicate with the multiple services, and multiple services work we can do with a single Lambda functions. Okay, so my requirement is just I have EC2 servers, not single region, multiple regions. So how many regions you have it? I want to read each and every region. North Virginia, Ohio, California, Oregon, Mumbai, Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo. So for every instances, now currently no instances is running here. So if you go for another region, North Virginia region, Ohio region, you take any number of regions, you take it. I want to read all the regions. So currently I'm in North Virginia, so we don't have any instances running. So in Ohio region, no instances are running. So my logic is I want to read all the multiple regions. How many EC2 services are there? And each EC2 service per default, when you are launching one EC2 server also, we have a default volume will be there. How many volumes are attached to my EC2 server? I want to take the backup of all EC2 server in all regions. Backup is nothing but what are the volumes which has been attached to the server. So we are going to create a snapshots. So that is called we are going to create as a backup. Okay, so now I want to write one Lambda function logic. in such a way that I want to communicate with EC2. I want to communicate with all the regions in my present AWS account, read all the EC2 servers, read how many volumes are attached to each EC2 server. I want to create a snapshot for my EC2 server. I'm going to take 3 servers like Mumbai region. I will go to the instances running. We don't have any instances running. Just click on launch instance. This is Mumbai region. One server. Just taking the basic details. Keeper, we don't have it. So Devops without keep. Just I'm launching one instance. Just I want a server. Okay. So now one server is in the ready state. It's running state. So volumes attached is default volume is 1. Now you can see instance is 1. The default volume attached to the instance is 1. So that is in the Mumbai region. Same thing, I can go to the North Virginia region. I can launch one instances. So the persons who are working in the North Virginia, I'm launching one instance. It may be Linux machines or Windows machine, any kind of a machine it is. So just I'm taking North Virginia. I have taken one instance. If you go to the dashboard of my North Virginia, so here also instance is 1, volumes are 1. So my Ohio region is there. I'm going to Ohio region. So the launch instance, I'm taking how many instances here? I'm going to take 2 instances. Number of instances I'm taking 2. Ohio region. Take your thing, any type of server, just now Ohio region, I have 2 instances. Mumbai region, North Virginia region, I have 1 instance. And Mumbai region, I have 1 instances. Total, for example, I have taken 3 regions. 3 regions, total 4 instances have it. So I want to connect to each and every region. I want to get the details of each and every instance. And whatever the volumes we have attached to instances, I want to take the backup of this each and every volume. So which is available in all the regions. 2 volumes are there. 2 instances, 2 volumes. So here, 1 instance, 1 volume. I want to take the backup of all the volumes. So not programmatical, through programmatical, I want to take it. Okay. So each and every volume which is there for EC2 server, I want to take the snapshot of each and every volume, not single region, in all the regions. Okay. So for that one, I need to write some logic here. I need to go to the Lambda. Go to the Lambda function. Create a function. So before creating a function, what we need to do? So which all are the services you are going to communicate it? I'm going to communicate with the EC2. So I need to get the EC2 related permissions. I want to perform some activity in my EC2 service. So service to service communication, I'm going to do it through programmatically. So for Lambda function, I have to give access. So when we are discussing in the IAM, 2 things will be there. IAM. Go to the IAM. Go to the role section. Create a role. So service to service communication, we are going to do it Lambda. We are not going to with EC2 to some other service. I want to go with Lambda, select Lambda. Next. So find the policies. I don't have the policy, so I'm going to create a policy for it. JSON. If you already, you can choose the service, choose the actions, but already I have the policy. So this is the policy. JSON. EC2 describe, EC2, snapshots, modify snapshots, modify things. Just next to tags, review, EC2, snapshot. Just I'm giving one naming convention as a policy as it. Now, just to refresh the at role level. What are the policy you have selected? We can attach to the role. So what is role name? Backup. Is it? Just we are created role and we are attached to the policy to the role. That's it. Role has been created. So if you want to see what are the permissions we have given, just get the permissions. One logs we are putting. This is CloudWatch and one more is EC2 related. Just go to the Lambda function. Now click on create a function. So now my function name is take EC2 servers backup. The basic function name. So these are the programming languages we supported. .NET, Go language, Java, Node.js, Python, Ruby. So if you want to go with other supported versions, also Java 8, Node.js, everything. So just I'm going with Python 3.7. So in the admin, change default execution role, change the role, use an existent role, select our role. What are the custom role we have created it? So that role name will come here. Just will select it, create a function.
What to do?
Okay. So now I have created one function. Just I have given the permissions to my EC2. So what are the permissions we have it? So we can go to the configuration level. So go to the permission checks. So we can check how many permissions we have given. Select the drop down. So EC2 service and CloudWatch. So what are the activity you are performing in the CloudWatch in the Lambda function? I want to capture the logs. So the logs will be captured in the CloudWatch service. And one more is EC2 service. EC2, 6 actions we are performing it. So one is all describing things, create, delete, tags, modify, reset snapshot. One more service is CloudWatch. In that we are just performing only logs. Okay, like this. So now when it comes to the coding part, so here we need to write the coding. What are the code you want to write it? So if you know the basics of the Python, we can write line by line, we can do it. Okay, so what are the code we have it? This is one of the code. So put3 library. So we are going to connect to the client EC2. From EC2, we are going to discover regions is one function. From the discover regions, we are asked to get the regions. Just I'm going to take this entire code, distinguish like this. Just we are taking the deploy. So in order to test the code, line by line, we will write it. So what are the thing they have asked it? So we will go with one by one line. So if you found anything difficulties, so what we will do? So just we'll use the print keyword. Print that EC2. It is object. So where are the result? What are the volumes you are getting? You want to print it. So just whether the volumes are not getting or not. So what we will do? So we'll check with print. Print means what is the result of this? We are getting in the variable. That variable we can print it whether the result output is coming or not. We can check with print statement. Now in order to test it. So now here in the North Virginia, I have one instance, one volume, but we don't have any snapshots. Even if you refresh it, so I don't have any snapshots here. So even if you take the Ohio region, so I have 2 instances, 2 volumes. We don't have any we don't have any snapshots. Same thing if you go for the Mumbai region. One instance, one volume is there. We don't have any snapshots. So now I want to take the backup of these things, all the servers, all the regions I want to take. So in order to test it, it is not expecting. So whenever you are using the event, So this will expecting a data in the JSON format. JSON format will be like key and value pair will be there. So multiple keys, multiple values we can pass it. So if you are referring any data, but here we are not doing any data, just we are taking all the regions. We are taking all the regions and we are looping each and every region and we are checking the EC2 servers volumes which are in use, not applicable one or not in the ideal one. So in use, we are taking it filter and we are taking the backup snapshots. So to test it, just we'll click on test. So create event, test, backup. Okay. So we don't require anything like a key and value because we are not using anywhere. But if you want to test your logical, so real-time scenario, they will give you the syntax. The key value is something like device ID. Case sensitive value you can give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 something. So what are the key format? Event format, we are taking key and value pair, we are reading it and we are inserting it. If you want to do any data manipulations, we can go with key value pair. So in our cases, we don't require any key pair, just we are saving it. So next, click on the test. So it will start running your code one by one. So it will take some time. Okay. So it is saying that error message. Checking the region AP Southwest will report. Why it is getting delayed means, so you need to go to your configuration. So go to your execution timeout. So the timeout is help us like it will check only for 0.3 seconds. The code of the execution time will be timeout only. So just will create. Next we will run the test the code. Test it. Now the execution time we have changed it. So now it will take some time to go and read each and every region. How many volumes are there? Take the snapshot of each and everything. Now you can see the logical part. So it is checking for the regions, all the regions which are there in my. Okay. So taking the backup in US East 1, taking the backup in US East 2. So US East 2, we have two volumes backup they have taken. So US West 1 has taken the backup. Just go here and refresh the page and check it. Snapshots. Refresh it. Snapshots. So each and every region it has connected. What are the instances volumes are there? That's fine. Okay. So this is the way we have to write the Lambda functions. Lambda function will help us to write it. They will tell the scenario for us. So if you want to run the same kind of function from other thing, some other base, you are calling from some other things. So wherever the scenario we need to call it. So if you go to the SNS, here we are going to create a topic for us. Topic. Standard will go. Calling Lambda. Create a topic. So this topic has to be subscription to somewhere where just go to here, create a subscription. So here we have the protocol. Lambda. So whatever my Lambda function is there. So for each every Lambda function, we have the ARM. Just select your ARM details. You have to give me. Okay. First we'll test manually. So somebody is sending data to our notification service. Somebody has been notified to our notification server. So if you are receiving any data or message, so automatically you want to call this Lambda function. So these are like event based. Something action or event has been happened. So you want to call something. What we will do? Just create a subscription. Okay, so software schedule created successfully. Confirmed. Okay, so next I will go to topics. Topics. Just I want to publish one message. It may be any message here. So now you can see, so we have only one snapshot is there. So now through SNS, I'm going to perform some dummy message. Hello. Message body. We don't require anything. Just to publish message. So publish message will happen. So message public to your topic calling Lambda successfully. So we have published messages. So in the backend part, the Lambda function will be start running it. It will has to create a snapshots. See, snapshot number change to 1 to 2. So here also 2 are there. Now it has to become 4. Here you can see 2. So even if you are sending any number of multiple messages to this topic, automatically we are going to call the Lambda function. So even if you delete this manually, now if you go to the snapshot here, so I'm going to delete in the North Virginia, I'm going to delete the refresh it. Select on delete. Okay, so in North Virginia, I don't have any snapshots, but if you see the North Virginia, I have only one instance. I have one volume. So I need to get one snapshot as a backup. Okay, so now what I will do, so I will send one more message, public message to the topic. Something like dummy message. We don't require any bot message here. We are not using any data key value here. Just I'm publishing one more message. Message body. Something. Publish. Again, message public to topic calling Lambda function successfully. Now you can go and see the North Virginia. See, it's automatically created. Okay, automatically if you go to the OHIA region, 4 count has to be changed to the 6. Same thing in other region, Mumbai. These options like that. Okay, so like that. So we have to write the logic first thing, and we have to test manually first our logic is working or not. So whatever the activity you are doing in the Lambda function, automatically it will create with the name of our Lambda function. So what are the function we have created? So it will be taken back up here. So if you go to the CloudWatch, so this is one of the log monitoring tool. So what are the activity you are putting into the Lambda function? We can capture all the logs under the log groups. So if you check the log under the log groups, whatever the name you have given, you can see all the logs. What are the activity you are performing in the CloudWatch with the name of what the name you have given for it. So automatically in the CloudWatch, it will create log group name and all the logs will we can see here. With date and timestamp. Either we can also apply the filter. No backup. So if you search for the region name, you will get wherever the region name is there. So it will be founding the region names. Okay. So this CloudWatch will help us to capture the logs of your Lambda function. So in order to get the permissions to the CloudWatch, so we need to go to the permissions. What are the AMA role we are attaching it? So we have added two services. One is EC2 and CloudWatch. So based upon the permissions only, we can capture the log groups. Okay. This is the way we can run it. So certain event or certain action is performed it. So then only we can call the Lambda function. For example, SNS, we are getting some data to the SNS. So based upon the data input or the message coming to the SNS, I want to call the Lambda function. I don't want to trigger the manual. So based upon certain action is performed, I want to call the Lambda function. What are the work you want to do inside the Lambda? Processing or anything. So we can do and test it. So for this one, we should require any one of the programming language. Okay. So if you know the Python lists, tuples, dictionaries, how to process the data, everything you should know it. Okay. So that is the way we can do it. Okay. Any doubts, any questions? Ramesh, everybody, Sindhu, Chandana. Understood? Yeah, so this is very important. So if you are working on the AWS admin side is okay. So if you are working on the AWS development work, so you will be working on the Lambda functions. So just they will give the scenario. So which services you want to communicate it. So first we need to update the IAM role, then we need to start working on the language. So they may ask any kind of a programming language. It may be Java, Python, or GoTo, anything. So the syntax will change. So existent code, they will ask it is not working properly. So we need to run line by line. We need to print the print statements, debugging mode. We need to run it and we need to bring the output. Okay. So today we are going to end here itself. Tomorrow we'll start again at the new topic, certificate manager. Okay. So certificate manager and EMR, we will give the introduction and we will close the AWS classes. Okay.
Sam, I just missed last 2 minutes. Can you repeat once again? Sorry.
Yeah. So we are telling that. So in the real-time scenario, where there are two scenarios will be there. So you will be working on the admin side or development work. So whenever any person working on a development side, you need to work on the coding part. So this is a Python one, but in already existing project you are working it. So they may use any kind of a programming language. So they will tell us go to and we have written one Python script, but this is not working. Can you check the issue? So like that the scenario will comes. So if you are working and interested to move to the development work, so there is a called Lambda function. So this coding model we need to implement it. No other options. Okay. Next thing is we are pending with two more topics. Certificate manager, right? And
Yeah.
EM. So these two things, what exactly it is, we will discuss. So maximum tomorrow we'll close it. Okay. We'll close the AWS classes, then we'll start the Devops classes.
Okay.
Okay.
Shyam,
Thank you.
hi,
Yeah.
Shyam.
Yeah.
Shyam, like a day before yesterday, I told right, like server built, like we are receiving one error, Shyam.
Yeah. Can you share your screen?
Yeah, sharing. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Shyam, screen is visible.
Visible.
So like when we are trying to open the putty, I'm receiving an error. I will try to build one new server now. Right.
Use PPK. Okay, create new key pair again.
Yeah.
You can create new key pair. No.
Putty generate from.
You can use procedure also. Okay.
Yes. Once and one this instance.
We can other option is there. PPK also you can directly download it.
Yeah. Yesterday, like I tried both the ways, Shyam, but it did not work.
Okay, try it. Let me see.
Save private key.
Yes.
So,
Don't select anything, give the name.
and then two.
Okay.
Second. Okay.
No, server 2, server 2. Go up. Uncheck new one. Let us wait 2 by 2.
Until the time can put it. Sham, and also here one more thing is when we will try to take RDP of this Windows server, directly this private key we need to give in that RDP. Sham.
Public.
This one we need to give in the RDP directly.
No need to give it, just click and connect here. Connect. Click and connect button. Yes. Go to RDB client, second tab. Download it.
Okay.
Double click that one. Download, double click. Just we need to enter the password. That's it. You downloaded something like Windows Server on.rdb.
Yes,
Double
yes.
click that one. Yeah, open it. Okay, once you open it, it will ask for the password only. Connect. Okay. So here get password is there. Just click on the get password. So what is the key file for this one is Devops key. Upload Devops key. Yes. Yeah. Last one. Yeah, open. Decrypt it. Yeah, take the password copy. Enter there. That's it. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Try to connect Linux also.
Here SSH page.
No, don't be here. Come back. So credentials is there. Click on credentials.
Okay.
Private key for authentication. Browse.
Okay. Here
Select.
to
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Open. Easy to use. Accept.
accept. EC.
Hyphen user.
Okay, like yesterday I was trying to connect using the GG. Okay.
Private key for
Credentials.
authentication. We need to upload private key, PPK. Okay. That's it.
Like here we should not select this function directly. Right. See here.
Put the SSH, expand SSH, authenticate. So in the newer versions, it should be credentials. Click on credentials. You need to upload private key wherever you see the keyword called private key.
Okay, here like here we should not.
Users upload GSP library path. Is expecting library path. We need to upload the private key. So if you see our things, always private key for authentication. That option we need to select it. That's it. Okay.
Okay, Shani. Thank you.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So tomorrow we'll see the certificate manager and EMR. Okay. Bye guys.
Okay, bye.